Don't worry about the kids. I know I sound ignorant because I don't have any. Baby girl, we're not. No pumpkin picking, no apple picking, no dinners with your family. Don't call me for brunch. We got banger fucking games, bro. Broncos, Chiefs, Eagles, Lions, Bucks, Bills, Seahawks, Rams. Bruh,
Don't talk to us.
don't talk to us. You better be on the couch watching this shit. I don't really have much to say. I think Seattle's defense is legit. I think they're special. I kind of want to talk about Kyler Murray. We didn't get to talk about this. Bro, they benched him. He's another one that's done in Arizona. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is done in Jacksonville. I know for certain, because I have eyes, Kyler Murray's done. Jacoby Brissett has thrown as many touchdown passes to Trey McBride in his starts this year than McBride had caught from Kyler Murray in his career. The offense looks better with him playing. You're looking at that contract. He's due about $40 million next year coming up. He's always hurt. I think it's ran its course, man. I think he just moves on, and maybe he's a guy that goes to an offensive mind, a 1-year deal with someone, step right in, and maybe he could rejuvenate his career. But they flat out benched him for Jacoby Brissett, who's been on 6 teams in the last 8 years. So he got benched for a journeyman, and you're the franchise quarterback. You want to hear this NFL executive? Says Kyler Murray should go play baseball because he was a top 10 draft pick potential, but then he chose to play football, which of course he would. He was a quarterback. He wasn't going to go in the back of a bus in fucking Boise, AAA baseball for 3 years before he got called up to the majors. Like, no, I'm going to play Thursday Night Football as a rookie. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make $200 million, which he has. I just think it's a wrap for him in Arizona, bro.
The 2018 Heisman Trophy finalist. This is the year that Kyler Murray won it. Because I do think that if he did not win this award, he wouldn't have been taken in the spot he was taken. He beat out Tua and Dwayne Haskins that year. Not the greatest Heisman finalist class that's transitioned to the NFL. He's a quarterback that forever it'll blow people's minds. He's like the bumblebee of all quarterbacks. How did a person that small play as successful as he did in the NFL? Because he does have his moments, but I'm worried about Jaxson Dart in the same case where his legs can't overshine the arm. And there was plenty of times in which Kyler Murray, it's either a 3-and-out because he's trying to air it out over his offensive line, or he's scrambling and getting himself concussed. And I really don't think that that's a recipe for a Super Bowl winning team, in my opinion.
Nah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I've always said that. Kind of like Kyler Murray as an underdog. Just can't make it through a year. It's always hurt. Always hurt. And he's a dangerous guy to try to game plan for because he could beat you through the air and on the ground. But I just think that Arizona's going to go in a new direction next year. Seattle, though, is legit, man. And I can't wait for this Rams and Seahawks game. We'll segue into this Rams game against the Niners. At the moment, right now, the Super Bowl favorite out of the NFC are the LA Rams. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that.
He's been saying it since March. Since March, you've been on the Rams. And now it's coming to fruition. All the headlines are reading this Rams team, favorite in the NFC, Matt Stafford MVP. Congrats.
Bro, listen, you know the real reason why I like this team? I got to give you some credit. I like their defense, bro.
Young and fast and physical. Oof. Not a team that you will not play against, for sure.
Punching the ball out, DBs flying around, making plays. Special teams worries me, but we said it about the Eagles last year. If the kicker is our biggest concern, you gotta love what you're seeing.
Yeah, but you don't. Seeing new kickers halfway through the year, never a good sign.
Yeah, never a good sign, bro. It's never a good sign. I'm with you on that. Just make your PATs is what I would tell the Rams kicker, because Stafford is absolutely balling out. I've been on record many, many different times that I don't think I've ever been happier for a guy to win a championship. Did I bet them? Yes, of course. But just as a fan of the sport, real recognize real, all the quarterbacks love this dude. CJ Stroud was on Gilly and Wallow, $1 million worth of game, and he was like, yo, I only watch Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I watch Mahomes, but like, I only watch Stafford. He could beat you the same way every time, and you can't do nothing about it. Aaron Rodgers was on McAfee a couple of years ago, and he's like, bro, Matty's been doing this since Georgia, but he was winning 4 games a year in Detroit. You know, he just got to 500 in his career.
I saw that graphic. 115 and 115.
How crazy is that, bro? He's 37.
I feel like I had the conversation when he went over to the Rams, how long it would theoretically take. And I feel he way over exceeded expectations on how quickly he could do it.
Bro, let me just give you this hypothetical. Imagine Stafford being the quarterback for this Lions team right now, as presently constructed. No one beats them. Gibbs, Laporta, Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is a $29 million wide receiver. He goes targetless for games. St. Brown, beast. Like, defensively, they got a bunch of guys that make plays too. Secondary, a little suspect, but we know about Hutchinson, Campbell as a linebacker. Imagine Stafford with it. So, like, him getting to 500 the second half of his career. And, bro, he's 37. He's a pocket passer. He might play another 5 years at a high level.
Yeah.
He really might. Tom Brady made a joke. He's like, bro, you're only 37. You'll be playing until you're 45. You got another 8 years left. And they were laughing. But it's like, remember this whole offseason, everyone that I was telling, yo, I love the Rams this year. What did everyone tell me? His back. It's like, bro, it's not his back.
Stop listening to his wife on fucking podcast. Stop.
He's 30.
Stop.
He's a 17-year vet that's like, I don't want to play preseason, so my back hurts.
I don't even know if I want to play football, but I know you guys give a shit, and I actually do want to play football. So I'm going to tell everybody that I'm not playing football, but everybody at the facility knows I'm playing football.
Bro, and
it's crazy because it drove the number in a direction that it would not seem fathomable had you bring up the same situation in case, and you highlighted that the Rams were going to be this successful in April. But that's where you have to buy in and trust to what a good offensive unit looks like. And you just have to pray that the defense lives up to the hype. Because if your offensive unit doesn't have firepower, we know immediately, we know in June, whether or not your team is going to be able to win games late and worry teams about how do you guard these people. Defenses, it's a roll of the dice. Because like I said, defense is 100% energy and effort and an intent to kill somebody. Can't really see what that is on paper.
Yeah.
Offensive talent-wise, you can. And that's what this Rams team did. Is they checked every single box.
Without a doubt. And here's the other thing that was really telling that he's done the last couple of weeks, right? He has thrown for 4 more touchdown passes with no interceptions in each of the last 3 games. Only Dan Marino and Peyton Manning have done that. They did that 4 games in a row. They're the only other people that have done this more than him. Here is why I really like the Rams, and I've always liked the Rams, but yesterday was really telling. On key third downs for big completions, Terrence Ferguson, Higbee, Colby Parkinson, big plays. So what do you do if you know it's going to go to Puka and Devontae? You take those guys out. He has no problem. He threw a no-look to Ferguson. Got Kyron Williams out the backfield. He didn't do nothing yesterday, but you know Tutu Atwell is going to score an 80-yard touchdown at some point again.
Yeah.
So they could just beat you in so many different ways in their defense. They got two guys on the edge with Young and with Verse.
Mm-hmm.
You got the guys in the secondary running around. McVay has his blunders, but there's a Super Bowl winning coach and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And you continue to watch Devontae Adams, man. Caught 6 of his 8 targets for a touchdown and 77 yards. Just an unbelievable performance by Stafford in this Rams offense. You just go into the Niners and be like, yo, listen, all this little brother shit, it's quiet, bro. Let's that was a fluke. Kieran Williams, let's feed you. Let's get your confidence back because you feel like you cost us that game on Thursday Night Football. This game is going to be really telling because they're going to have to play Seattle again, but then this time they'll have to go into Seattle. I love this Rams team. I hope they continue to blossom and continue to roll, and I hope Stafford continues to ball out.
Enough said.
Enough said.
This afternoon slate, all overs hit. Are totals too easy? When I'm making my picks on this Wednesday show, if I pick a total, should I have to parlay it? No, I'm undefeated on totals so far this year.
No, listen, that's great, bro. If you could find that one thing that you're good at, maybe totals for you is anytime touchdowns for me. Devontae Smith scored a touchdown tonight. Had him plus 210 on the Discord and the Patreon. So it could be, right? All favorites covered comfortably, and the game went over. So you know the books hated that afternoon window.
Yep.
So anytime you have overs, no one at the bar is betting an under because it's boring, and people are going to bet favorites, and they all covered. The Lions game, I don't really have anything to say. Kind of just Lions are now 13-0 against the spread after a straight-up loss as a favorite during the Campbell and Goff era. It's kind of one of those, like, if they lose again the following week, we got to take them.
Yeah.
It's the best NFL trend right now in the whole league.
But fuck the Lions.
Yo, yeah.
I know.
Listen, bro.
So
here's no, because it's important what you said, right? And I don't mean to pick on you, but a lot of people say this, right? For you to be good at betting, you gotta have the ability to erase shit from your mind.
Yep.
Because last week the Lions lose as my Becky. This week they win as my Becky. Why? Because it's the spot. It's the revenge angle against Washington. You're never going to be a good bettor if you're like, bro, I'm never betting on this dude again because he couldn't get me half a more yard. It's like, nah, bro, because maybe next week he has a better matchup and his yardage prop is now lower. Why were we on Roma Dunze last week? He had as many catches as us two did against the Bengals, and they scored 47, 48 points as a team.
Yeah.
And then his yardage prop was 19 yards less than what it normally has been. So that went over, and he scored a touchdown. Listen, he got the touchdown late in the game, but he scored. But his yards, he cleared it in the first half, which I had also said, like, yo, his yards is 58.5. That's fucking crazy. He got 66, like, halfway through the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. You're never going to be a good bettor if you're like, dude, I'll never bet him again. When I hear people say that, I'm like, you're just not going to be good at this. For content purposes, yeah, Kirk Cousins, he's a terrorist. He's on the ban list. If Kirk Cousins is playing, we're not going to take it. But I got burned by the Falcons 2 weeks ago. I love them as my toxic one this week. You have to pick the spots. You can't do that, bro, because you're going to get burned. This is the game that we love. It's going to happen.
It's true.
But you have to bet the number, the situation. You add narratives in there that make sense. Like, yo, Dan Campbell's kind of a dick. He'll run the score up on you if you beat him in an embarrassing way. They beat them as 10-point favorites last year, Washington did. Like, all right, bet. You guys are down. Bam, Amos now out for the year. Broke his fibula. Promising young player for their secondary. Payne threw a fucking right hook.
Jesus. Yeah.
At St. Brown, he gets ejected. Daniels, we thought his career was, well, this season was over. He might be coming back, which is crazy too. It's another team that should be like, yeah, you know what? Let's pack it in, bro.
Correct.
Why are we going to run you out there for what, 6-11? Nah, fuck it. We know you're the answer. So, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. It's a terrible mistake. You need to bet week to week. Everything is different. Things change. And you have to be able to forget that to be successful in the sports betting space.
That was well said.
Thank you, bro. I felt really good about that.
It was good.
I appreciate it.
You laid it out perfectly. You also didn't mention the fact that you called Jahmyr Gibbs 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but I can't take credit for that. I bet that on my own. Like, I didn't put that in the Discord. Hell, I didn't even bet him. I didn't even say for him to score as a Patreon pick because he was minus 200 to score 1. I bet him to score 3 touchdowns. I did give out Kieran Williams to score. He was even money. But, yeah, I had the best weekend of my life. No. This football season, definitely.
Yeah.
I got my purple belt on Friday.
Big,
yeah.
congrats.
Thank you very much. Shout out to the Shapiro brothers, my dogs. It means a lot to get the cosign from you guys, for real. And so I got my purple belt on Friday. I went out, couple dates, got a haircut, was looking handsome as always. Ended out good. Great girl.
Nice.
I'll show you some pictures after.
Amazing.
Polite pictures. I'm not a complete piece of shit.
No,
Class.
bro, come on. Let's go back to high school where you had that hidden app. It was like a calculator. You typed in a 9-digit code. That's the only code you can remember, but you typed in those 9 digits.
You got the secret stash over there.
You do. And had I said it right there, I mean, that's CP that I'm talking about now that I'm an adult. But back then,
yeah.
That was like Bitcoin.
Early
Bitcoin. It was nuts.
$20 for a Bitcoin season, bro.
Boy.
Yeah, so it was a really good weekend, man. And like I said, the picks went 4-1. Anytime touchdown, I kind of broke even from what the Patreon gave out. But then, I had Kieran Williams to score 2 and then Jahmyr Gibbs to score 3 touchdowns. So I had quite the weekend. And then I even hit up George and I was like, yo, who do you like to score the first touchdown? It's on the house. He didn't score the first touchdown, but it's okay. George got a free roll at it. You never know.
He didn't score the first touchdown, but the most frustrating fucking thing happened where he could have scored the first touchdown had Aaron Rodgers put the ball in the money, turn around upfield. Joanu Smith would have been in there, and we would have been $600-something richer. But instead, we watch an absolute snooze fest. I am sick and tired of seeing the way Arthur Smith destroys offenses. Sick of it. This team with a Hall of Fame quarterback should not be playing the style in which they're playing indoors. Play that 3 tight end set shit when it's a blizzard outside and you're unable to throw the football. However, when you have a Hall of Famer, I don't care that maybe he's not as sharp as he used to be. We got to be throwing the ball 40 times a game. We got to be getting DK Metcalf way more acquainted with what a Aaron Rodgers out route looks like. There's nothing that DK Metcalf runs that isn't a slant or a go ball. Literally his only 2 routes. How about a DK Metcalf screen? How about a different way of moving the ball down the field than we've seen? It's sickening because the defense played their fucking ass off, but that defense who also played their ass off probably was like, well, shit, our offense can't do anything today anyways. And then that's when the floodgates opened up and Ladd McConkey goes like retarded, dude. He played really well, and I'm sick of these Steelers. I cannot bear to watch it anymore. I have December 7th circled the game versus the Ravens. I won't watch them until that game because I don't even want to know. Like, I don't want to know how bad I'm going to lose that game on December 7th. I just want to let it happen when it happens. How did you feel about Sunday Night Football last night?
I thought the defense for the Chargers came alive. They played really, really well, but I wonder how much of that was Aaron Rodgers and this offense, to your point. Justin Herbert in prime time this year is undefeated. He is, however, getting pressured more than any quarterback in the league, and I think that's very concerning. Now they're out. They're without Slater, obviously, from the preseason. They just paid this dude in the offseason, and then he got hurt, and then Joe Alt is now out. He's going to be taped up the whole year. Madison Beer going to have to take care of the boy because the injuries are catching up to them, especially in positions that really, really matter. But offensively, when they're on, they're a fun team. They're a really fun team. But I think it's more telling of Pittsburgh. There's a reason why they're plus 300 to win the division.
Yeah.
In some places, and Baltimore is such a significant favorite. So, yeah, shout out to Keenan Allen. Broke the record for most catches in Chargers history, surpassing Antonio Gates. They gave him a nice little tribute. And don't forget, this dude last year would have had it, but he went to Chicago in the offseason. And then the Bears had traded a pick to the Chargers that ended up being Ladd McConkey, who's now the new Keenan Allen, and will probably break all the records that Keenan Allen set if he stays healthy and stays with the Chargers, because him and Justin Herbert are on the same type of time. And I feel like he has that kind of game that's going to translate for a decade.
Yeah. Oh, and Vidal?
Yeah.
I know he wasn't the premier name headed into the year, and I know when Hampton comes back, he's going to get a majority of the work.
Yeah.
But you found somebody in that dude.
Yeah.
To be able to run into the teeth of that Steelers defense successfully, and it gave me remnants of Darren Sproles vibes.
Yeah.
They found one.
Nah, for sure. For sure.